This week, my hope for you is that you find a little peace, love, and gratitude in the pauses. Welcome to The Solo Grind, your weekly coffee break with me, Teresa Schlup, the original caffeine creative, a brand strategist and web designer who loves reflecting on life, embracing the gratitude, and doing things in my own way. Today, I am taking a pause and reflecting on how this moment of pause is leading to growth and even deeper levels of success. Not success in the way our world at large defines it, but success in knowing I am living the life of my dreams. So grab your cup of coffee, give your honey a smooch, and let's talk about the power of the pause. Hello and good morning, afternoon, or evening, or whenever it is that you are listening to this podcast. Right now, it is morning for me, and I am sitting here in my sweet little home office, coffee cup in hand, bundled up in layers of fleece, wool, and all things cozy, thinking once again, why do I live in a place where the air hurts my face every single winter? But as I watch my hubby head off to work, I remember, oh yes, I love that guy. So here I am, hiding away in the house as the temps outside are 2 degrees but feel like 11 below zero. And my friends, even this frigid air and frozen tundra is worth it because I really do love the life that we have built and our little slice of heaven out here in the Eden Township of South Dakota, even when it looks like I'm living in a snow globe. One thing I can always count on during these cold winter days is a lot of reflecting on what is going on in my life. And as we are closing out another year, I am doing a lot of thinking and reflecting on where my business has been, where it's going, and everything in between. Much of this reflecting I have been sharing throughout this past month. From redefining my dream to discovering what to say no to and how to do it with kindness and ease. We also chatted about tapping into our natural strengths and how we can use them to create the life of our dreams. And I really wanted to share this one thought with you today because it's something that came to me very, very clearly recently in a conversation I had with somebody else. It's not easy creating the life of your dreams. It's a lot of hard work, often, not always, and sometimes the work doesn't feel like hard work, but it is. But more than that, it comes with a lot of criticism and ridicule sometimes, especially when the dream that you have doesn't align with what others think you should have. I know me personally, I've received a lot of criticism over the years for living life on my own terms. I've been accused of being selfish, unrealistic, and self centered. I've been told that I am too picky, difficult, and living in a bubble. And I have been labeled a bad wife, mother, and daughter. And no, those labels did not come from my parents, husband, or kids. But I did hear those accusations, and they stung and they hurt. The point that I really want to make here, however, is that when we are bold enough to create life on our own terms, it can come with a whole heaping load of drama and often a lack of support, even from people who are close to us. Unfortunately, that is sometimes a price that we have to pay to create the life of our dreams. But I believe there is a much heavier price to pay when we ignore the dream and simply do what we're told. Just the other day, I was having a conversation with someone who currently is not living the life of her dreams. Far from it, in fact. Without going into the details, it's safe to say that she is just really miserable with the life that she has. And as she's in her 50s, she's starting to feel defeated and stuck in this life that sucks, in her words, not mine. She also said something else that really caught my attention that I knew I had to share with you. Here's what she said. I have followed the rules and I have worked really freaking hard to live a good life. So why is everything so shitty? And maybe you can relate to this now, or maybe you have in the past. I know I have definitely had that moment myself, and it does suck. It truly sucks. But there's also a hidden blessing in that moment that I know I couldn't see when I was stuck. And the way I see it, this realization that life is not what you want can lead you down two paths, defeat or triumph. And both begin with a pause. There is an incredible growth waiting for us in the pause. Those moments when realization hits and we give ourselves just a moment of inactivity to look at the life around us is incredibly powerful. In that pause, we have the opportunity to choose our new path. The first, which seems easy and ease feels oh so appealing at times, is to accept defeat. We can allow life to simply happen to us and do our best to hide away from it all. Or we can take the second path, and that is simply to acknowledge what isn't working and ask, what do I want and how can I get there? As entrepreneurs, we feel like we need to be constantly doing, building, creating something to help us grow our business. But there really is so much value in taking a step back and embracing the pause. When we don't, we often miss the hidden cost of pushing through. I'm not talking about the obvious costs like time and money, but the smaller ones that seem insignificant initially, that build up over time and start to build up pretty quickly. Things like our energy being depleted. Chronic busyness is so incredibly depleting, not just physically, but emotionally, mentally, and spiritually. And this price can build up over time, leading to all kinds of issues. In fact, in a recent episode from one of my very favorite podcasts, The Small Business Casual with Emily Aborn, she talked about this and she shared with us the 7 types of rest that we all need. And while I'm not going to dive into all of the details that she shared, it is definitely worth giving this episode a listen. So I will be sure to share it in the show notes. The other price we pay, or one of the other prices we pay, is our creativity. Building your own business is very much a creative effort. We have to master our craft, which takes training as well as creativity to explore and become better at what we do. But that is not all. We also have to find creative ways to address issues, market our services, connect with potential clients, and come up with the money to keep it all going when things get tight. When we don't stop to pause, this ability to tap into our creative brain is greatly diminished, even sometimes erased, making everything we do that much more difficult. This leads into our value being diminished. And I'm not talking about the value of who we are necessarily, but the value or the quality we provide to our clients. When we push through that pause and keep doing more and just one more thing, the quality of all we are doing begins to diminish. It may be just a little bit at first, hardly noticeable even, but that builds up as well. And each time we allow ourselves to be comfortable with being less, delivering less, doing less, we are accepting a new level of mediocrity. And this reminds me of one of my favorite quotes that I thought I would share in this episode. And it is from Andrew Carnegie, which, if you have not read up on studied his life at all, he is a very incredible, inspirational person. I highly recommend reading more about his life if you're looking for a biography that inspires. But here's the quote: "People who are unable to motivate themselves must be content with mediocrity, no matter how impressive their other talents are." This is what happens when we allow ourselves to be depleted by pushing through. And this also takes us to confidence, our confidence wavering. As our value diminishes, we and our clients know that we just aren't giving our best, and discontent starts creeping in. By the time this happens, we are so exhausted from it all and feel like we just can't give anymore. And that is when doubts take over and our confidence begins to waver. We start thinking thoughts like, maybe I'm not all that good, or maybe I'm just not cut out for this work. And things can quickly escalate from there. That escalation can lead to resentment. And when resentment settles in, when we start to resent those asking for more because we just don't have more to give, and we begin resenting those who are bold enough to complain that we're not giving our best, this is when we know we've skipped the pause, hopped on the first road, and are heading straight for allowing life to just happen to us. All of this takes away from the dream that we're creating. It robs us of our joy, relationships that support us, and the success that we're chasing. And for me, I truly believe that success comes so much more naturally when we choose strategically and intentionally what actually deserves our attention and what doesn't. So, as we wrap up today's very short, to the point episode, I do want to leave you with one last thought. That criticism and ridicule that you might receive has a lot more to do with them than you. These are their fears and insecurities coming through. And as Teddy Bridgewater, backup listener, says in my favorite commercial, you're not a mechanic. It is now your job to fix them. So this week, I hope you will find a moment to pause. Choose what will get your time and energy with thoughtful intention and clear strategy. This is how we make our dreams become a reality. All right, my friends, next week we will be wrapping up 2025, and I am going to be sharing a little sneak peek at what I will be bringing in 2026 with me and what I am officially leaving behind in 2025. Have a fabulous week, my friends, and may this time of holidays and celebration be more than you could ever hope for. See you next week. Thanks for listening to this short and sweet episode of The Solo Grind. If this episode gave you the permission you need to pause and reflect, then I know my mission for today is complete. If you'd like to connect with me personally, hop on over to my website at cappingcreative.io and book a free consult with me. I would love to hear more about the dreams that you are building.